Memory-related conditions like Alzheimer's disease require specialized and personal care.
Licensed social worker Tara Copley is here to talk about things you can be looking for in a memory program at Bethany Retirement Living. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Good to be here.
So what are some specific signs or things we should be looking for people that might be having some memory loss?
Well, it can, unfortunately, it can start early at times. So some early signs, everybody progresses so differently. So some signs that you can kind of look for earlier on are forgetting really familiar faces that they've known their whole entire lives and names. It's not necessarily that you forget your keys here, more often, because we all forget our keys at some point in time. But it's really those familiar things that should be kind of engraved in their minds. Another thing is if they kind of forget like a familiar route to the grocery store. They've taken the same route to the grocery store for the last 20 years, and then they kind of get lost on their way home. So those are just a couple situations.
It's nice to know the difference, because I do feel like you start forgetting where you put your keys or where you put this, and you think, oh my goodness, not necessarily the same. So how do you start where do you start when you start seeing those signs as far as looking for the right kind of care?
Well, it's really good to be proactive. It's, from the moment that you get that diagnosis, it's good to look into the community to kind of look at different facilities that are going to fit your needs and your liking. The really good advantage to Bethany is we have levels of care that range from independent living all the way up to skilled nursing. And so as you kind of progress through your disease, it's, you're in our Bethany family, so it's very easy to kind of, move up into that higher level of care for your needs, and then eventually to the memory care unit that we have. So, that's one of the advantages to Bethany, but it's good to, really start that search from the moment that you get the disease, get the diagnosis.
Suggestions on how to have that conversation with that loved one? Because I think oftentimes, they want to stay independent and be independent, and
right.
there comes a time where it's like, yeah, we need to think about an alternative here.
Yeah, it's really individualized. It's difficult to have those difficult conversations about the finances. The biggest one is when to stop driving. And even medical appointments, they kind of get anxiety about going to medical appointments. And so there's lots of different ways to start that conversation. A lot of times we use an intervention that we will use is called therapeutic fibbing. And so a lot of sometimes families have a hard time using this, but in other words, we're not lying to them, but we're, trying to make it if you're going to a medical appointment and they're having anxiety about going, or they don't want to go, making it an enjoyable trip too. We're going to go do one of their favorite things afterwards, or something like that.
Interesting. I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, me neither,
therapeutic fibbing.
We'll have some ice cream with them afterwards.
Yeah.
So. All right, stay with us. We're going to talk much more about this right after this short break.